just walking on. What are you sorry for? Hey, everybody. Holy Toledo. They weren't kidding when they said good luck with today, huh? I mean, you know, listen, I realize I'm a couple of minutes late here, but for the love of Pete, we got thrown all over the place. Let me know that you guys are seeing this out there. All sorts of trouble back here in the back end part of it. Listen, it's a conversation piece here. This whole thing that's going on with Algol, but we're gonna pull this back. I want to make sure that we're seeing some people out here. How have you been? Welcome to the new studio. Hope you can hear me okay. Worked out some technical things. Worked out some other things. Oh, by the way, we have our good friend over here. Don't you worry one iota. We'll be turning over some cards today. But I needed to bring to you some really sincere astrology. Some good old-fashioned astrology here. We've got ourselves kind of in a pickle here, don't we? Can somebody make some mention on something? Hey, Andy, how are you? My gosh, how are you doing? Oh, it's fantastic. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for the compliment on here. Trish, we missed you today. But we've got all sorts of kind of fun stuff here. Hello, Colleen. How are you? Oh, there it is. Everybody came in. Paula, Judith. Wow. Power just came back on. You're welcome. Yeah, our lights were flickering. Things had to get reset. This one I got a legit thing. By the way, new camera angles coming in. Not so much for this one, but we'll have other ones when we have guests that are going to stop by. I got big plans around here. We're going to be doing some different things. Letting our hair grow out a little bit, but I had to take care of the beard. Sorry. Had to clean that up a little bit. Having kind of fun. Am I like at a tilt? I think I am. That's all right. We'll get through this. So, anything going on? Anything happen this weekend? Anything? Was there a, gosh, let's see. It goes 4th of July, then fallout from Revolution, then Pluto edges back into Capricorn here in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm going to actually save that chart, but I want to hear you only in my left ear. It's not me. Oh, that's funny. Boy, you guys just love to pile on this stuff, don't you? Don't you now? So, listen, I'm going to let you guys know. Listen, I got a couple of things coming up here. I'm part of a new book. Part of a book that has come out that is going to, and I'm going to put it into the comments. I have contributed a chapter to a really cool book called Vibrational Wellness. And it is really, I've got a really kind of cool story in there. And there's a few people that I also know that are in there, people that I've connected with over the years. It's called High Vibrational Wellness. And my chapter is chapter 22. You can turn right to it if you wanna. Or you can, leaf through it at your leisure. I'm going to actually put up the Amazon link for you. It'll bring you right to that page. There's a bunch of really great authors in there as well. We're up and down the East Coast. It's a very, there's healers of all type. Some, talk about nutrition. Some talk about yoga. Some talk about auric healing. I actually talk about astrological stuff, about that kind of awareness. My story is kind of a cutesy story about walking through and understanding how I understood their chart as I was reading them. So it kind of made me adjust. It's kind of a cool story. Master number 22. I'm telling you guys, 1111. Bam. Thank you very much. I did not ask for it. The author team decided to get me there. And by the way, that light behind me is not by accident. It is my halo. I'm just going to let you know that. And, hey, Jamie, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Andy, thank you so much. Connie, good to see you. Casey, welcome back. Yeah, Judith brings up talking about the election over on YouTube. Yeah, there'll be a lot of election coverage. But first, a personal note about that. I got really burned out on talking about it because I knew it was coming. And quite frankly, Saturday was really kind of the denouement of all the crap that I was feeling. and I was released in a way, but then I was really catapulted into the astrology. I was catapulted into the conversation. I've also been restructuring and replanning where I'm going with a lot of things. Yeah, I have. By the way, the next time I do a live, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the sneak peek of the Oracle deck and how you can be a part of it and part of the initial launch and all that other good stuff. Not quite prepared for it yet, but I can tease the heck out of you. Hey, Carly, how are you? So I just want to give everybody a heads up on that. I also want to tell you that I'm so resisting becoming political on this. Whenever I talk about politics, it's only because we know the players. It's only because we are going with this. You know, the people that don't hurt other people are my people. It's that simple. The people that are trying to hurt people or take things away from them or judge them or hide things from them. And by the way, there isn't a clean one in the bunch. We failed. We have failed. Like, just accept it. You know, this is the blowout game where there's still 3 innings to play and you got to play them out, right? Hey, Ness, how are you? Congratulations on everything. Boy, nothing but movers and shakers hanging out with us tonight. And, you know, I'm changing my tone not because I'm changing the climate or anything else. I think I have a dual responsibility to not only keep my authenticity about what I believe in, but also not to... I can't influence people anymore. That is the... I want kindness to influence people. I want free will to influence people. I am pro free will. And if you feel like something's going to be taken away from you, if you feel that you are being told the truth, if you feel that you are in a position where you think that, oh, how bad can it get? It's horrible, guys. It's horrible. We have to adjust, and I am doing that adjusting myself. So I'm going to talk about these people in the third person. I'm going to talk about them not as my political candidate or my person or my president or my former president or my anything. Everything that you're seeing right now out of Washington, D.C. is false. They will take this channel off YouTube. They will tell people that are light workers that they are illegal, that they are no longer welcome. They will make things very difficult for the truth seekers. Because what they're going to do is go to our biggest fear. And we are not a truth-seeking world. We are not a truth-seeking species. We are a very social species. So they are using that to engineer social conformity. Boom. My political party is that of the citizen. It is that of you and me. We have to join in one somewhat perfect union and move forward and march. And I'm not talking in a militarily sort of way. Militaristic sort of way. That didn't work. I have a friend of mine who, and by the way, you become friends with people when you connect with them over the years. And I was invited to her son's graduation. And he had graduated... Andy, we are not going full Lumerian on this one. We're going to stay above ground on this one. I'll read your comment in a second. But I was invited, and, you know, with great pride, I've known these people for 20, and maybe not quite that long, a solid 10 or 12 years. And I knew him when he was in junior high, let's put it that way. And I knew him because he would come out and hang out with us during home parties. This is way back when I used to drive around and do readings out of the back of my car type of thing. Talk about being underground. And I got to know him. Like, he's just a good kid, great kid. And he had graduated from police academy, wherever it is that he had gone to. And he had, and he's there with his girlfriend of like a year and a half. She's a teacher. He's going to be a police officer, likely a state trooper. You know, they have it right in their sights. 2.3 kids, white picket fence. You know, he drives a really souped up Nissan. She drives a Ford Caravan. You know, I'm being a little bit facetious here, but that's kind of what their crosshairs are. That's what they're focused in on. And I told his mother 10 years ago, boy, he's going to be a cop. This kid's got all the hallmarks on it. This kid, he's got this, and this. He's got a great thing. This is where we're going with it. Boy, it's fantastic. Dad's all proud. Dad's proud. I mean, what's better than making Dad proud, right? Kick ass, take names. Dad's proud. There we go. Serve and protect. He shakes my hand and he says to me, so what kind of a cop am I going to be? Well, it depends. Are you willing to follow your conscience instead of orders? Everybody stop talking. That's where we're at, everybody. This is rushing us in. We are barreling towards the age of Aquarius. Barreling now at this point. What do you individually have as a moral compass, as a claim to fame, as a projection of self-awareness? Who is it that you want to be? Who is it that you can become? The North Node is incredibly important. And by the way, most of us just learned about a new fixed star called Algol. Algol. Al Gore? No, not Al Gore. I'm pretty sure Al Gore is not a fixed star, but Algol is. But we are now in a position where we need to, the people in charge have no desire to be in charge of us, but they want to be in control. They don't want to take any responsibilities. We have maxed out our court systems. We have sold out our court systems. We have allowed our court systems to be bought out. We have allowed ourselves to be compromised at the congressional level. We have allowed ourselves to be bought out at every level possible. Every level. Even when you are held accountable, we'll just change the mark. Here are the rules. I don't like them. We don't live in the world that we were born into. And the sooner we accept that, the more we can get, the quicker we can get to work. This sign's in charge. Right there. Says it. LOVE. This kind of sits there, right? It's 4 letters. But you all just thought of 100 other 4-letter words. They're trying to sell you on 4-letter words and telling you it's this, when the word that they use isn't this. They try and show you one thing and then tell you it's another. Oh, well, that's not very real. Do you want me to get specific? For the last 78 years, that go back to the Teapot Dome scandal 114 years ago, a special prosecutor was put in charge to acknowledge the fact that we needed a non-biased, non-political, non-whatever person to take a look at what the hell is going on. And then, on the back of a fucking napkin, one of them just wrote, no, not really. Probably because he's being investigated himself. Oh, and by the way, 28 years ago, 38 years ago, maybe, when he stood in front of Congress and basically said, Anita Hill's a big fucking liar. And we just went, oh, do we have any other choices? And by the way, if all of these things are resonating with you, I study history. I watch the repeats. And I take a look at where things are at. Dude was a bad seed from the beginning. But he checked a whole bunch of other boxes, which made it okay. He was a conservative black man. That should throw them. Let's throw in shock value. Let's have shock value. Let's have shock value. Let's have shock value. We're numb from the shock value. How about if we have a president that has no political experience? Shock value. How about if we have a president that has so much experience that he can build a team and not do anything? Shock, well, that's kind of standard. We've gotten ourselves numb to a new norm. We need all of the information that we can gain. Carl Fitz just asked, do you believe the history books? No. That is why I went to Memphis. You guys think I'm just on tour to hang out with people? I mean, listen, Sheila's one of the greatest people on the face of the earth, and she joins us from time to time. Her group down there, kick-ass, take names. Amazing people. I went to the National Civil Rights Coalition Museum, and I stood in the room that Martin Luther King was shot. Do I believe in the history books? I believe in me. I know what I felt that day. I know it was set up. I know the two people in the room were actually fully aware of it. And then there were people that walked out of that room on that tragic day and said, I will fight for this till the end. And I've never liked his politics, and I've never thought that his rhetoric was great. But Jesse Jackson carried a torch from that day. I'll respect him forever for that. I don't agree with him politically, though. The other senator that just passed away 3 years ago also carried the torch. John, sorry. History doesn't mean I remember it all. Stood up for all of the things that we go to. I think that the narrative... Listen, I'm going to give everybody a real-time example. Have you ever met somebody and... Let's not even go down the romantic route, but you meet somebody and you start to have a conversation with them. You're in an interview with them. Let's keep it in business, right? By the way, I've interviewed so many people over the years. I mean, after all, I was in corporate recruiting for 15 years. You interview a few people. And I would connect the dots really quick with people when they weren't telling the truth. But was my job to figure out that they weren't telling the truth? Was it my job to say whatever? Because we've all got stuff that we're not happy about. We've all done stuff that we can be a little ashamed of. I may or may not have jumped off the roof of Johnny Finnegan's house in nothing but a Vikings helmet. Not my proudest moment. And yeah, that's all I was wearing. It was fun. I own it. I don't want to relive it. I don't want people to tell me how cold it is that day. But it becomes the conversation for all of us to say, what do you let slide? What do you blow up? What do you call out? What do you misdirect on? You know, it's funny. Every single time I start out in a relationship, business relationship, I'm working with an artist for the cards, and she's pretty fantastic. I can't wait to show you guys this stuff. Like I'm biting my tongue, so then I can show it to you later. I want to show it to you all at once. And there are some critical things in there that it would never, if we were going to build an empire together, it's not going to happen. But if we're going to have a creative endeavor, it's quite good. There's a lot of parallels on our creativity. You know, we're not gonna spend our free time the same way. We're both creative, but we're on two totally different planes. We're both people that have a very specific point of view, and by the way, it clashes, right? And that's okay. But for this project, she's the right person for this one. But that doesn't mean that I could, I don't even want to say do it again, but it's not to say that I could build a house with her. It doesn't mean I could build a whole other, way of life or something like that. That's not it. But if we stay in that lane, superstars. We go over here, tragedy. That's how finite, that's how specific astrology can be between two people. You might be together for a specific amount of time in your life. You may be connected with somebody for the simple fact of you needed to create a family with them. What kind of police officer am I going to be? Depends upon how well you're going to understand your moral compass versus the orders. Hang on there, guys. It's our time. And they may pull this today, they may pull it tomorrow. Free thinking, free will is a threat. Do not forget that all the way through. Just don't. I had the honor and the privilege and by the way, sorry about the delay in trying to get this going. I have done so many home parties. I've been doing so many readings. It's not a bad thing. Right? If YouTube is the functionality of promotion, then I've been promoted. But I have had the honor. I met with a woman who's a very high functioning with Down syndrome, and she was a relative of the host, and she was just this light. And she'd been through some stuff. She had some heartache, and she talked about just missing them, and she feels them all the time, and she sees them when she wants to, and again, high functioning. This wasn't something that was. They had guardians there with them. It wasn't something that was off kilter. It was actually very appropriate. And connecting her to her mother, she's like, just remind her that I miss her, because that's what I always remind her every time I see her. And she had a love of her life, and she's like, he still think of me? Does he still connect with me? She was working on emotions that we all have that you can't take away, is my point. And logically, she doesn't have the luxury or the curse to overthink anything. She just loves. I also met a 95-year-old woman that was really excited about the soon to have 5th generation coming in. She's like, if I can see 5 generations, are you kidding me? I have made it. Finish line. 95. 95. She is closer to her Neptune return than you are away from your original Neptune natal placement. Right? We take for granted that we outsource our healing. We outsource our emotions. We outsource whatever. We feel good with retail therapy. We feel good with a glass of wine. We feel good because Brandon turns over a card. This is, anytime I do this work, it's so that then you can take it and build on it. I can tell you you're going to win the lottery, but if you don't buy the ticket, that's not on me. As much as I cannot stand the political climate, is very necessary. And a lot of people are... I'm actually going to jump to the cards. I actually have prepared, but I think what I'm going to do is create... because we've had enough. We've been beat up. I'm going to show it. But I want to say this with a grain of salt. I'm going to spend 10 minutes on this. Bear with me. In these 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the importance of an assailant, of a purpose, and of a fixed star that you had never heard of. Even astrologers. I'd heard of it before, and I knew what it was, but I didn't know the backstory on it. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. It was funny. I had brought up Eris, and Penny had brought up Cedra. And Cedra, of course, was this kind of like sea witch that, kept getting thrown back into the water and having her hands chopped off and her legs chopped off, and, slowly kind of became the fish of the sea, and she was restored when Neptune, granted her the wish. Even though Neptune was off, sack tickling all of the nymphs and everything else. This is the one thing that Neptune did well. And, Algol came up in the conversation. And Algol is known as the demon star. It's known as the beheading star. It is known as the... it is known for its alchemy for disaster. It is at 26 degrees and 10 minutes of Taurus, which is where it sits. And I'm going to go to it now. I don't know how I'm going to do. Oh, there we go. Perseus. So a little history story here. Those of you that don't know who Perseus is the one that defeated Medusa in a nutshell. Well, Perseus didn't just defeat Medusa. Perseus stood up to Medusa. Now, how did Medusa get all of her sneaky hair? Well, it was because all the sins of the world and all of the demons of the world were housed on the top of her head. And just by looking at her, you would turn to stone. Well, Perseus realized that, and again, whether you want to follow the Clash of the Titans or if you want to follow Pantheon historical Greek mythology, you would learn that Perseus studied and knew that if their reflection, and by the way, this is in ancient Greece when mirrors were at a minimum or were at a premium, he had a shield made of that mirror so then he could hold it up to her so she could see herself and therefore use her wiles, use her whatever against her. So she was no longer in power. So she herself turned to stone. And when that happened, she was able to chop her head off. And here is Perseus up in the sky holding the head of Medusa. Now this star right in the center, kind of the right eye of her, is literally the star Algol. It is a fixed star. It sits in the constellation of Taurus at 26 degrees, almost 27 degrees, because 10 minutes and it's only a few minutes more. It's about a third of the way through. So this is where it sits. So where you look at this on an astrological chart is at that between 26 and 27 degrees of Taurus. It stays there. It does not move. The sky moves. Perseus doesn't move, right? Medusa, now Algol, is actually a binary star with a third star that moves in and out of the orbit behind it. So sometimes it gets brighter, sometimes it goes dimmer. And basically what it is these two stars doing the dance. It's duality, everybody. Don't forget that duality rules the ship. So with that star will go bright, it'll go dark. It'll go bright, it'll go dark. It'll sit right there, and sometimes it is focused, and sometimes it is not. But it always has an ever-present status on it. Now, Taurus as a astrological sign is a fixed sign. You're starting to get the hang of some of this. By the way, why don't we just keep going here? And I'm going to show you. This is the actual symbol for Algol. This is the alchemic symbol for it. This is the sigil, the sigil, which, by the way, I had my Archangel Michael shirt on earlier, but it poured, and I have another car. I don't call it a new car, another car, and I left the windows down, everybody. Thank you very much. I have puddles to drive home in. That's good for the car, isn't it? I cleaned it up already. But anyways, this is what it looks like, and what this actually represents is the idea that there is the sword going through the head and releasing the body, and that all of these kind of demons kind of go off. Represents her head and the separation of her body from her head. And then, let's get into the fun stuff. I'm not going to say his name. TMC. But I'll tell you, sometimes it takes a crook. And by the way, this is not political. If you're reveling in this, pay attention, guys. It was a call sign. It was a dog whistle for those that super support and send money and blah, blah, blah. For light workers, it was a call sign for us to say, oh shit, here it comes again. Algol sits in Taurus. What is going on in Taurus right now? By the way, this splits the uprates, everybody. 26 and 10. This is 26 and 15, 25 and 09. Guess where Algol is? Right in between Uranus and Mars in this grand conjunct. Oh, yeah. By the way, little backstory if you're not into it. Mars and Uranus getting together. A lot of chaos. A lot of misery. A lot of action. A lot of what have yous. And guess what? This literally splits the uprights. And by the way, our person here, and by the way, there is no kindness here for me with him. There's a lot of seedy stuff. I saw a lot of bad acting on that day. You can piece together how I feel about this. But it was over his north node, which is his destiny, and it is over his Lilith, which is the pain that he was bringing forward. It forms a T, everybody. It forms a T. It was a perfect square. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wow, you mean to tell me that his Mars and Uranus were conjunct with one another in his natal chart? Astrology matters, everybody. Astrology matters. This person was pushed to do this. And by the way, there is not a time of birth, and therefore there is no concrete evidence that this is his rising. You cannot acknowledge the houses here. I use 12 midnight. But the ratio of the square of the 29 degree in Aquarius to the 26 degree is a Uranus square. It's a tendency of overdoing it. We're going to doing it right. Oh, by the way, if I want to keep going, and I'm going to show you this in the next slide, we could easily talk about, and by the way, this is a wide conjunct, but we can talk about the Jupiter square here on his chart, which, by the way, is a tendency of way overdoing it. The dude was compelled. Was he bought and sold? I don't know. We might find out in 50 years. We might find out about a second gunman. We may find out a whole bunch of shit, but we've never really told the truth in this country, so don't expect it by Tuesday. We are systematically lying to ourselves if we think that this to me is source information. This to me allows us to say, hey, nobody can really refute this. Nobody can alter this. Nobody can change this. Because I can look at it and make heads and tails of it. Oh, by the way, I could break this down for a month and a half, but I'm not going to. What I am going to say to you is, look at how busy this chart is. Look at how busy. Now, what this is that day, July 13th, when compared to his birthday. By the way, what we look at for destiny, for purpose, is right here in the north node, north and south node. Mercury squared. Hi, Rita, how are you? Venus squared. Conjunct Uranus. Square Pluto. Square Vesta. Then you got some trine energy here. Right? You've got some sextile energy here. You've got Mars conjunct. Guys, look at how busy this is. He wasn't in his head. He was not in his head. And by the way, I'm not justifying any of it. Please don't shoot people. That doesn't solve a goddamn thing. Hasn't yet. Right? Thank you very much, Hamilton and Burr. Now we think that's still the way to take care of things, but wait till you fall out of your chair at this one. When you compare the two charts between the former president and the former assailant, his is on the outside wheel because it doesn't have definition, so I wanted to make sure that Mr. T was the inner sanctum here. And guess what? His Mars is in opposition to his Mars. Uranus is in opposition to Mars and his rising. His Jupiter and Mercury are in Mr. T's first house. And oh, by the way, it forms a perfect T-square, a.k.a. upside down cross, right in his chart. Shit's getting real, guys. That Algol sits right in Mr. T's midheaven. It is something of a disaster. But it could also mean something positive. It could mean that if you could wrestle your demons and get ahead of it, well, you could really catapult yourself. By the way, I know this because I have the exact same placement. I'm 4 degrees. I'm I think I'm 3.5 degrees off from the rising, the same rising. What that does for me is it minimizes a little bit, or it allows me to recognize that I have to conquer those things. The ability to not be boastful, or to not get over my skis, or to not take on too much. I look at this, and this was the crosshair that he looked through. Chilling, isn't it? Astrology matters. The astrology matters. So, thank you guys for giving me a couple of minutes to point this stuff out. Oh, and by the way, this is the two of their charts together. Look at how ridiculously busy this is. You know, when you look at Crook's sun, square, 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 square. Into the north and south nodes, square, square. Opposition to Vesta. And vice versa, square, square. Everything is a complicated mess. The zone is flooded. You can't process this. This is if two people came to me and said, we want to get married, take a look at our chart, and I saw this, I would say, you have a very complicated relationship. That's how I would start. And then I would continue by saying, one of you is going to use the other. One of you is going to get over on the other. One of you is going to hate the other person and resent the person. And one of them is going to just basically capitalize on the other. Crazy stuff. By the way, one thing that I did not mention with his chart, although I mentioned it, but I really want to emphasize it. Jupiter squaring Jupiter is just, I mean, it's just an internal struggle. It's one of the toughest placements to grow through. And then I see this where there's nothing, there's a void. So that tells me that for whatever reason, there's a mutual respect and understanding. It's kind of crazy, guys. And I'm not going down any conspiracy theories. I think I'm done with those. I know what I see. I also know that you guys are looking for some cards. We're going to do a little shuffle up and healing now, and I want to tell you guys, I want to thank everybody for the notes that I've been receiving. Hey, where are you? How are you doing? Hope you're okay. Hope you're not falling off the internet. Not yet. They got to kick me out. Oh, remember when I went to Memphis and I saw the Civil Rights Museum? I went down to Texas and defended my book. I went down to Florida and met great people and made sure that the light workers knew who I was. Still hang out with them. We're being called into action, guys, and this is what it looks like. So we're going to do one of these. Oh, I'm not sure how how was that? How was that? If I go close up or I go further away, which one's better? How about if I go like this? Oh, that's weird. How about this? No. How about this? How about this? How about that? Yeah, it doesn't like me. How about this? Nah, that's weird. All right, we'll go back to this. The recording is going along, and just stay tuned. It's coming. Oh, I had to finish that too. Remastering things are... Oh, gosh, did I really do that? Oh, there we go. I'll do one of these. Come into focus. There we go. All right, guys, listen. I'm gonna pick you out of the crowd. We're gonna have a good time with this. We're gonna do what we do best. By the way, head on out to. By the way, if you like some of what I talk about here, I know it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy, but thank goodness everybody is where they're supposed to be. I feel horrible, and you should feel horrible. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But you should be affected by innocent people dying, period. End of conversation. There is no joy in any of this. but there's purpose. It's kind of like a school play on the hottest day of the summer or the spring. And you're in there and you're boiling and it's 97 degrees. And you're using the program to fan yourself. You're like, this sucks. And then your kid hits the stage and you go, all right. And they're the best one in your row. They're the best one in the row. And you're like, yeah, I have pride in that. That's fantastic. And then you're like, it's worth it. But it's not until afterwards where you see the joy on their face and you say, I didn't need those cards. Do you see what I did there? What is up with that one? Hold on a second. I'm going to save that one. That one right there. I'm going to save that one for the end of this. That'll be the last card I draw. I'm listening to you, Spirit. We're hanging. Yeah, now you guys are just like, oh my gosh. By the way, that was kind of me describing the astrology. Because you needed to know this. You needed to see through it. You know, you can't wish for a sunny day and be upset when it's 98 degrees. Oh, Kim's the first one to say encouraging, yay, let's go. Laura, how you doing, love? Hope you guys are enjoying it. Kim, how you doing? How about a King of Cups? I think this is Dad showing up right now. Dad's talking about the decision that you have to make for yourself because the Two of Wands comes out. But let me tell you, one of the decisions, you're going to come out ahead. Can't make that stuff up right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut these guys right here. Oh, and by the way, I am going to have some links up for you guys. Do you like these cards? Do you like them? Oh, Judith, I'm glad that you enjoy the astrology. I appreciate you for saying that. Because right now I was really thinking, like, I just, like, lose everybody. And by the way, everybody's tuned, half of everybody tuned off. I get it. I understand. And by the way, I'm going to put these links in the descriptions. So, yeah, Kim, there you go. Glad you're on there. This is the... This is a Rider-Waite deck. By the way, very standard. Should have a deck of this sitting around. Put in your glove compartment. You never know when a reading's going to break out. And then, of course, I'm going to pull up these cards. You're going to really like this one. And by the way, this, I think, is kind of the best alternative to the normal natal. I'm reading and talking at the same time. The traditional tarot is the Leo Marchetti Royale one. Okay, Dad's talking. Dad's calling you a fool. I'm just kidding. But he is talking about new energy. Oh, yeah. This is purposeful stuff. So your decision that you're making rare has purpose. I kind of like where this is going. I really do. And let's stop there. This is about travel. You're getting out of Dodge. Maybe this is moving. Maybe this is retiring. Maybe this is taking on a new, taking yourself to a new height. And I'm using the Starseed Oracle right now. And what do we got here? Oh, we got perspective. Yeah, get the big picture. You got to zoom out a little bit. Boy, what a dense card. Yeah, this is like pale blue dot. And by the way, this is where you cried in the shower this morning. This is where you got pissed off at the guy that cut you off. Right? And the reality is keep the big picture. Don't get hung up on the small stuff. And it's all small stuff, really. Whew. Kim, thanks for getting us going here. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. Where am I going next here, kids? Pop, 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 pop. Black Bell, how are you? Well, listen, thank you for the compliment. How about if I give you some justice, some balance? Let's bring you back in here, Black Bell. Let's bring you back in. Maybe we're taking a look at this in a new way. Maybe we got a little bit of savant going on here. Maybe we got a little bit of hey, why don't we kind of like do this in a good way, right? Thanks, Kim. Glad you tuned in. Boy, I feel like I'm just warming up now. Had to get that other stuff out of the way. I don't know where this accent came from, but I've been spending some time down in the South because they've needed my help. I'm hanging out at home because they've needed me too. Page of Cups comes out, talks to you about, hey, maybe you should do this a different way. Maybe you find that one thing you really want to do. Sometimes it's not the whole job, right? Maybe it's just the one thing that you like to do, and maybe it's taking a step back and just doing that. I'll tell you, though, you're getting fruitful cards here. Woo! We're jumping right in. The Royale cards. I knew this was coming, but I'll tell you, though, denied or delayed justice. That's what this combo is, because we're upside down. We're in reverse. The Tower card comes out with the inevitability of something. So maybe this is you kind of like sitting back there, Black Bell, and going, hey, I know that I'd really like you to do this like today, but maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, and then you forget about it, right? You forget about whatever it is that you need. It goes from revenge to justice, right? Revenge is quick. It's sudden. It's dirty, hairy. Well, you feel lucky today, you punk? Mm-mm. Slow-moving justice comes at this hand. Little justice, little Libra, little balance. Gets better. Two of Wands comes out. Why not the best of both worlds? Honey, I know what it's worth. Did I just go a little Van Halen on that? I think I did. You know why? Because you're going to do it in such a way there, Black Belt, that you are... Did you like my slow-mo? I do all my own stunts. I don't know if you know that or not, but I do my own stunts. King of Swords comes out because it talks about being able to slow you down. It's about not being over emotional, and it's about having a cooler head. It's maturity. It's about understanding how you got here. It's about recognizing that, you know what? You didn't need instant gratification. Oh, that's another thing we can really, really use a lesson on, right? Instant gratification. Oh, the Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing consciousness to light. Mintaka, we bring good things to light. It's a water sign, obviously. And it brings us forward of change. This is about a slow evolution of change. You know, a lot of people be worried when water moves quick, right? As a Pisces, if I'm running, you know something's on fire. Or there's a bear. Or there's a something. Or there's an ice cream truck. Right? Am I right or am I right? And then, if you use water in that slow, gentle way, here's your outcome, everybody. Eventual balance and justice. Change with the dynamic with options, and then look at the fruitfulness. Not getting hung up on the emotional value of it. I kind of like that for you, Black Belt. Thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, so good. Good to see you. Good. You're throwing back to the last time we were together. Looking good, right? So you guys, like, nobody's actually asking for readings. That's kind of fun. Oh, here's an old friend. Hey, Sarah. Let me know you're still here, Sarah. But I know Judith is here. I'm going to say hi to Judith first. Sarah, get yourself ready. Please let me know you're on here. Andy. There you go. You're in queue. Judith, practically perfect in every way. Thank you very much, Mary Poppins. The Nine of Pentacles comes out because it is at the elevation level in which you are able to rock out. Hey, Judith, I knew you were here. But that doesn't mean it's not hard work. How about the 9 and the 8 getting together here? How about the 9, 8, and the 10 of Cups? Oh. You know what this is? This is you taking the tools that you have, still working the measure, and finding your happiness. Of course you're a Virgo. Of course I'm giving you all these earth signs. By the way, these are Cappy Caps. Just to let you know. By the way, these two, right here in the middle, it's Christmas. Carpenter, that's Christmas. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, Shannon, I hope you're doing well. Stick around for a bit. Oh, yeah, here we go. 7 of Pentacles. Boy, whatever it is, Judith, it's hard work. Right? Ace of Wands, mastery. Taking it to the limit. And then the King of Cups. Boy. Love, love, love. This is about a man of love. This is about a partner of love. It's about reconciling that you came from love. Love, 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 love. Plenty of cups, plenty of water. Yeah, and Judith, you know what? It's worth it. Because here's a little starseed love. Oh, it's just star family. You are where you're supposed to be. And by the way, some of the most important people in your life, they're kind of a pain in the ass, aren't they? Right? You're part of Team of Souls. Call in for support. Here you go, everybody. Everybody's got backup. You just got to say it into the wire. Backup, please. The soul now dealing with this jackwagon in front of me. Isn't that great? I think we should all walk around like, remember Spencer for Hire? Remember that show? And anytime he had to work with the cops, he'd always like talking to his, there's Spencer walking on the road, requesting back up, and they'd be like, Spencer, you aren't on the force anymore. And he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Robert Urich would go in, kick in the door, and just be like, I don't need backup. And then you're like, well, then he lost his hair and got cancer, and I still miss him. But what a great show. Here you are. You got to call him in for backup. That's all you got to do. Judith, thanks so much for joining us. Love, love, love. I'm going to get to all of you. Andy, can I have a word with you here for just a minute? Thank you so much for tuning in there, Judith. Where are you, Andy? Where are we? There we go. Andy, and by the way, those of you that have never seen the podcast with Andy, we had a really unique thing where she had the same birthday as somebody else. I did a comparative astrology of her and somebody that was a few years difference. That's all I'm going to say. It was a lot of fun. Andy, how about the Nine of Cups? How about a little joyous, outgoing stuff? How about a conversation about doing some hard work? Right in the middle of everything is hard work, everybody. Can we pay attention to this for the love of Pete? It gives us strength. Wow, what a character building read right here. Oh. And the Queen of Cups. You're really living high off the hog right now. Oh, talk to a teacher during the summer. They love life. Talk to them in the middle of September and they're like, who are you? Do I know you? But I'll tell you though, a lot of yellow. A lot of cool general energy. Oh, and by the way, getting smart. This is mastery of the work that you're doing. You should be enjoying yourself right now. You should be. On the Knight of Cups. Wow. This tells me, like, if we're sitting at a carnival, let's say, and I pulled these cards out for you, I'd say, you're going to be headed towards a new adventure. You're going to be taking a look at something and saying, you know what, I'm really good at the entire job. I have a mastery of it, but I'm going to become a specialist. Water your garden, body, tenderness, care. And again, talking to a teacher over the summer. That's how you roll, kids, huh? That is how you roll. Andy, thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad that you piped up a little bit. Glad you stuck it out. I know that was a little dark there. We're a little bit early on there. Oh, we're just going to go right in order here. Jamie, how are you? Hey, I have another funny thing. You know, it's funny. I'm now meeting people, and then I'm hearing from people that are like in my past, you know, like high school friends and whatever, people, acquaintances, you know, might not have known them well, or I knew them somewhat, had our placement in time. And as it turns out, I read somebody's mother at a home party, and I had no idea it was their mother. And they were like, my mom was over the moon, you did it right. Elizabeth Taylor forever, that's all I'm going to say. And here we go. How about a little revelation? How about a little bring uppance? Oh, how about the Judgment card? Oh, hold on a second. We're going to need 3 here. We always have 3. Bringing yourself back into balance. Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep going with this. Oh, here we go. The illusion of happiness. Got it. I'm not going to lose you here, James. I got you on this one. So the moon comes out, kind of revealing illusion. The 10 of Cups, this is like lost happiness in a way. This is like, you would have thought it was going to be different. Comes in the form of things kind of biting you in the butt. Loss. Change of status. Then you have the Judgment card 2.0, the Magician. Things changed. They come in, they leave, they come back. But it's about having the tools of making sure you change. The judgment card is 2.0, or 2.0 as I call it. And guess what? It's a new version of yourself. It's learning to have a relationship with someone in passing differently. And then you have the 6 of coins, 6 of pentacles, along with temperance. This is all about balance. By the way, when you lose somebody, you become off balance. Everything goes sideways. I stand behind everything I have said. And how about this one? How about a star keeper? Cosmic ancestor, the sea light of staying grounded and understanding soulmates. In other words, somebody's letting you know they're safe. Just letting you know. Wow. By the way, heavy transition here. Heavy transition. Moving from a time of happiness, realizing that things had to change, but then finding your balance again. You know, Stella, you can get your groove back. Hope you read between the lines on that one, kid. You're the only one that needed to hear it. Just like that. Jamie, thanks again for everything. All right, Casey, how are you? You could use it. Well, what could you use? Maybe these 3 cards? Maybe one of these? Oh, yeah, this is... I don't know. I'm trying to make these El Shuffledode. But I'm seeing a whole lot of pentacles. Oh, yeah, here we go. Got to go back to basics. Here we go. Now, if I was a bunch of tarot cards and I got these cards to you, I would say to these tarot cards are talking to one another going, what the what? By the way, just a guess here, Casey, but Taurus matters to you. I'm going to give you full interpretation. 5 of Pentacles. Change. Maybe you feel like you're out in the cold. Maybe you feel like, it's not going to work. Money outside looking in. Then you got 3 of Pentacles here. You went within, went behind the scenes, didn't make it a public matter, didn't make it a public mess. You will not, cannot, shall not make it about anything but yourself. You need to. High Taurus card. This gives you the ability to be able to say to them, like, hey, I gotta do this shit on my own. I don't need your help. Hey, how are you doing with such a man? None of your business. This is going back to what you know, what you were raised on. This is showing you, by the way, 5 and 3 in between. Makes it a 13, makes it a 4. This is about family. Shall we see what tools we got? Fine. 6 of Wands comes out because you took the high road. Bam. I will take the high road. And by the way, this moon card sitting here with the 3 of Pentacles talks to you about how do you want this to look? How about we take a little bit of practicality along with the dream maker and go like, what's real? I have news for you, Casey, and I'm sorry I'm the one that delivers this to you, but you are not going to be a rocket now. I know. Godspeed. I was hoping you were going to come to that conclusion yourself. But there are other dreams that are very much in your sight, very much in your capacity, right? I will never be a classical guitarist, but guess what? I can play CGDA pretty good. And I heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You were messing around. And by the way, I will lead you in that song and dance coming up. What's real for you there, Casey? What's real? And by the way, why are you fighting this? What you fighting, Casey? What you fighting? Casey, what are you fighting? Because the conflict card on this, it's like you're fighting everybody. You're fighting a family. You're fighting. This is our destiny. Make a damn fine living being a Rudiker. Remember that movie Rudy? When his father was like, "But son, just go to the mill and work." And then Petey dies, and then he goes, "You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to finish school. I'm going to play football." And then he has this inspiring story. That's him and his dad. He knows where he's got to go. I'm going to give some starseed love here. This is the jump in. This is Andromeda energy, adventure. Say yes to change. Hey, I stand behind everything I'm saying. Say yes to change. And by the way, if the family doesn't like it, well, you know. Never make a decision and never ask the advice, and always weigh your advice to how much of the bills they'll have to pay after the decision is made. Have you ever had anybody like give you such sound advice? They're like, "What? You should really paint the walls gray. You should really redecorate over here. You know, what'd be great over here is a waterfall." Well, okay, thanks. Who's going to pay for it? I don't know. You don't put a lot of stock in that horse hockey. Neither should you, Casey. Hope I brought that to you on that one there, kid. Hope there's some validation in that read. That was a little tough. Hitting it on the head, huh? Well, Casey, thanks so much for letting me know. Thank you so much for letting me know. And, oh, by the way, yeah, Sarah, it has been a while, Sarah. How have you been? Hope you're doing well. By the way, update those pictures. Those kids are 21. You cannot lie about your age anymore. I'm only kidding. The World comes out. Let's redirect here. Let me flood the zone. Let me talk about The World. Ooh, let me talk about being a wounded warrior. And then let me talk. Oh, I love this for you. I love it for you. There is some quick, fast-moving energy. I really should have shuffled the cards better. I probably should have, like, dropped them, thrown them around the room. But I think that was a problem to begin with. By the way, I reset everything around here. I reset it all. This is me doing one of these. Me doing one of these. But, Sarah, these are your cards. You know what we're going to talk about here? We're going to talk about the fixed energy of the world and how, maybe it was a little bit tough, but guess what? The Eight of Wands is really about manifesting. It's about that change dynamic. It's about that thing of you saying, I like this, but I want this, but boy, am I fortunate. It's time for me to kind of step into my own light here and go do what I need to do. What do you have? Oh. Are you like a fixed energy? Are you a Leo, a Taurus, Scorpio, or Aquarius, Sarah? That is super duper crazy to me. Super duper crazy to me. I don't know if you're still on. I hope you are. But I know you'll probably come back and jump on a little bit later, Sarah. Yeah, my guess is that with this combo platter with the World and then with the Wheel of Fortune here, the World and the Wheel of Fortune, these are two highly fixed energies. You know, we've got Leo energy, we've got Aquarius energy, we've got Taurus. Ooh, this is coming from a place that might be a little tough. I get why you're married. Ooh. Sarah, give me an amen. The marriage card comes out with the Wounded Warrior. Taking one on the chin, but doing the job. Oh, you're Pisces? You're Pisces and this is your reading? A lot of wands. A lot of fire energy. But I'll tell you, though, this also means repair. Means you stuck it out. In reverse. Bam. 10 of Wands, no more pain. Wow, Sarah. This is a part where Sarah's like, I think I know why it's been a long time, B. The 10 of Wands comes out in reverse, by the way. Lets you know pain is over. Time to get moving. This is about moving on. And I don't mean necessarily moving on from maybe a person. Maybe it's a mindset. Maybe it's the next phase. Maybe it's being able to kind of go like, hey, how you doing? And dare I say, you put one foot in front of the other. Baby steps, everybody. Baby steps. Take a look at those. Right? Make sure you follow your intuition and pay attention to it. By the way, do you like taking classes? For $44 a month, you get 4 classes in your inbox, or you can attend them live. Where I talk about a different subject every week. I go over the astrology of the week. Then I go over the tarot, a little bit at a time. Don't overwhelm anybody. And boy, oh boy, is it a lot of fun. Wow, Sarah, I'm glad that kind of brought you to. You know, sometimes people see tough cards like that, and they're like, "I hate you," and then you're like, "Huh, you had every reason to be angry." And guess what? You said no. You said no, I'm okay. I'm okie dokie smoky. Yeah, I'm going to make sure. Oh, Shannon, how are you? Yeah, listen, hot teacher summer, here we go. Shannon, Page of Wands coming out here. Is it a new change? Is it a new? Oh yeah, this is recognizing how much abundance you got in the old kit and caboodle here. I don't know. I don't think you're going off and making a couple of more. Lord knows that van is full. But I think what this is about is you talking about how things have really grown out of love and into nature, and you're choosing to stay. You're choosing to continue to grow this. Oh, he was a dancer. He was a dancer at 9 a.m. He made you turn your head in ways you never understand. And then, sweet then, did you begin to understand the love of a man. Page of Wands and the Eight of Wands is a bit of a backstory of a love story. Of course. So even through all of this, you had nothing to worry. The Nine of Swords, the anxiety card in reverse. Thank you so much for overcoming that. And then we're going to pay attention to our intuition. What's our intuition? The Eight of Wands. Well, boy, I've done a great job of shuffling today. You know, you make sure you have all the cards, and then you don't always necessarily... But I'll tell you, this is your reading. What is this? Intuitively, you made the right choice all along the way there, Shannon. Congratulations. How about some starseed love? Forge, don't follow. And boy, can I not think of a better person to hand that card to. Forge, not follow. Pave a new path. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish that you had. That doesn't mean you don't have great people in your life. It just means that you took all their good parts and you said, hey, everybody on board. Well, that's kind of fun, isn't it? Whew. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Shannon, so good to see you, love. Hope you catch up with my sister when she's home, which is later on this week. Rachel, how can we forget you? I love this. Oh, please, a few cards with my Tasmanian devil feelings. We're here to help. We're here to take our time, though. We're going to not get over emotional about it, Tasmanian devil. Beelzebub. Sorry. Too soon? The Queen of Swords shows up in the funniest of passions when the Queen of Wands shows up. Wow. Wow, somebody's opening up. Somebody's waiting for your time, because guess what? In the background, Four of Swords combined with the Three of Swords. Can we get an amen? Can we get an amen for some of the crap you've been through? Tasmanian devil brain. Queen of Swords is like, hey, listen, I'm trying to show you something here. High Priestess shows up and says, let's just tap... Let's use our womanly wiles here to our advantage, in a positive. We're not trying to be a gold digger here. We're trying to be sustainable. By the way, wow, 2 Queen of Swords in here. Rachel, you may need to get in touch with your feminine side. You may need to say, I need to enjoy this. I need to enjoy all of these crazy kids around me. I need to enjoy all of these half-brained ideas that they had. By the way, pick up your socks, put down the toilet seat, dinner's on the table. Am I wrong? The defense rests your honor. This is you kind of going, like, is there anybody that's going to help me here? This is activated Earth. You got to get out there. Activated Earth. Get yourself planted out somewhere. By the way, the greatest cathedral now is being outside under the trees. Find me a nice pine tree canopy. That's where I want to be. It's the only place I want to be. By the way, I have 3 spots left. October 10th to the 14th. It is Columbus Day weekend. I have 4 spots left. at my foliage retreat. It's pretty awesome. 4 spots. If you're thinking about it, send me a message. I have some other people that are interested. They first come, first serve. That's how we roll here. Rachel, thanks so much for being part of the journey. Love that you chimed in there. Growl. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You are very welcome, Rachel. So good to see you. Joanne, how are you? My gosh, I'm seeing Mary over there. Addie, thank you so much. Oh, we're getting everybody in comments. Here we go. Joanne, how you feel about this one, love? Oh, how about a little Queen of Cups? How about, oh, 2 of Pentacles. I mean, I don't have a jealous bone in my body, but right now, I'm jealous of these cards, I'll tell you that much. Oh, my God. What is up with the Queen's rolling out all of a sudden? It's almost like I'm doing a card trick. Simply put, you figured out who you are. You are the goods. You are in balance. You have prosperity. That doesn't mean money. Could mean wisdom. Could mean knowledge. The Queen of Cups. Oh, came out of the fire. 5 of Swords. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. You don't think that I have value? Well, then you don't get to touch my swords. Go ahead, read into that. How do you find balance? You find balance the old-fashioned way. You make them earn it. And then, listen, this is about being cautious with your energy moving forward, but knowing full well it's worth it. Know your value and the value of what you're dealing with. It seems awesome. It seems intuitive. It seems cosmic, quite frankly. How cosmic? How about you are being called? This is your time to step up. Joanne, I can't make this up. By the way, yeah, you. Yeah, when you raise your hand, the universe goes, oh, you ready? You down with that? And then all of a sudden, everything clicks. Yeah, it might take a little bit for it to take off, but that's okay. The universe is like, we thought you were never going to get it. That's kind of what the spread is. Don't be your own worst enemy and think that every single past thing will lead to a present thing in the same condition. Whew. That's an amen. That is an amen. Joanne, thanks so much for all you do around here. My goodness gracious. Yes. Here you go, bud. Here we go, The Mindful Motivator. By the way, great book about balancing energy and talking about how you use your intuition in business. Kind of a fun topic. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh. You got your mind on your money and your money on your mind, but guess what? You're feeling a little oh shit about it. That's all right. That's all right. Let's see where we go. Let's see where we go. We're going to strike a balance, though. 2 of Pentacles show up. Wow. This is 2 readings in a row. 2 Pentacles of 2 people that have been in the last 2 classes. I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to hand it to you. It's all about timing. All about timing. All about timing. Oh, how much about timing? The 4 of Swords comes out. The timing card. I cannot make that up. The defense rests, Your Honor. The highest of the Gemini cards comes out and says, hi, how you doing? Take your time. Take your time. The Romeo and Juliet card says, we're uploading something. Wow. This is kind of a rough one. Never in the history of ever, or at least we should celebrate it, when we get a double blammy card. Because that's what you just got, my friend. Matt's kind of sitting there going, great. By the way, the 10 of Wands is an overburden. You, my friend, are overburdened, and by the way, I just gave you another burden card. I actually gave you the same card twice. 10 plus 10 is 20, and 2.0 means you got to do something different, buddy. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because your outcome card here is pretty kick-ass. And by the way, you're going to learn from those mistakes, and you're going to apply them. You're going to have a revolution within yourself to change what you need to. You're going to say, I don't care that you're offended. I care that I have obligations. By the way, this is about over-obligation right here in the middle. The gravity of this right here is going to throw off the Ace of Pentacles to the Two of Pentacles. I know these cards look close. I don't mess with spirit, guys. But I am going to give you this card. Oh. You know what this is? This is the old 38 special. This is loosening your grip. Just hold on loosely, but don't let it go. If you squeeze too tight, then you'll never let it know. Come on. Come on. Let it be, kiddos. Let it be. Let it be. Boy, this is just letting you know it's about change, but it's about, like, yeah, you try and control it, which, by the way, I'm not going to lie, but that's kind of the perfect read. Because when you're transitioning, and by the way, you've written the perfect book about it, transitioning from the idea from going like, I'm in control of anything, to I have to trust everything, it's fucking, excuse my French, that is another day. Maybe that's just where you're at. It's kind of awesome, though, because your outcome on all of this is like, I'm going to learn from all this stuff, and I'm going to become better at it. Sorry, not sorry. Kicking ass and taking names, you know what I mean? Yep. Well, I got you. Did Joanne really give me a medal? I think she did. I'm glad it helped, buddy. Glad it helped. All right, we're going to do a couple more here. Magical Mermaid! Yeah, you know what? It's take a vacation from the obligation, right? Take a vacation from the obligation. Well, what's the obligation? It don't matter. By the way, I'm going to give you a prime example of this. We're going to do a couple more readings. I haven't forgotten this guy over here. He went flying off the table. He's missing out. I don't know what it is. Watch it be the Tower card. Watch it be the Uranus card, by the way. That's Uranus. So, have you ever thought that you had to go to like a family reunion or Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, and then at the last minute they're like, oh, we can't do it, don't have to do it. And then you're like, really? We don't. Okay. Oh, it's too bad. I guess we're not going to be able to. Well, we can reschedule for a couple of weeks. No, this is pretty much all the time we got. And then you go, yeah. But remember, the one blessing of the pandemic was it released you of so many of those obligations. By the way, I love it when you guys give each other support and help and advice. Right? Sometimes you gotta find that. And you just gotta go like, hey, you remember when you didn't have to go in and see your boss and you can sleep in until 8:15 because you had an 8:30 meeting, and you could mix in a shower later in the day? Just have to run a comb through your hair and be like, oh, I'm not able to get to the hair dryer. Remember that? Obligation is, I'll say it, obligation is the number one reason why grown men hurt themselves. It is not peer pressure, it is not opinion, it is not belly fat, it is not testosterone levels, it is obligation. We have to recognize how to unobligate ourselves. It is the number one killer out there, energetically. You can talk about heart disease, you can talk about cancers, you can talk about, the signs of strokes, you can, all of that. True, all those things are true. But the number one reason is, first and foremost, over-obligation. Second of all is misunderstood opinions of others. And last but not least, that thing in your head that makes you go, baby likes me. Sometimes I'm not on here because I'm busy, truly busy. And it is not an uncommon day for me to get a phone call and roll up my sleeves. Yeah, Magical Mermaid, that's good advice on some days. KVC, good to see you. You know, you can talk about the news not being healthy, but what's not healthy is the fact that it never changes. It's just, you spend more energy trying to figure out what is true and not true. That's the problem. The problem isn't that they're lying to you, it's that they think that they don't think you know. Everybody you have ever known has lied to you. Everyone you have ever known has told you one thing when it was the other. Now, that doesn't mean that it's the most tragic thing ever, because you yourself have said, I don't really want to know. It's just better if we just leave it here and go the other way. That's what they want you to do. They want you to just go like, it doesn't really matter. And by the way, this is non-political, because it's everything. It is institutional. Shannon just had the comment of the year, including lying to ourselves. What would happen if we took Perseus's shield and looked into it? Would we turn to stone? Mic drop. What would happen if we looked at ourselves and not beating the shit out of ourselves, not judging ourselves, not saying whatever? The most you can say in judgment is, I got to do it differently. Not even better. You might not be capable of it. There are some people in this world that will never get better than how you know them right now, and they're incredibly pieces of shit. They are just, it's just who they are. They are that person to you. They are going to cut you off. They are going to get in line in front of you at Stewart's, which, by the way, I had that happen the other day. I had a guy cut me off into a parking spot. Pick his nose. Just figured I'd add to the lore. Walked in. I poured myself a cup of coffee, and I'm shaking my chinking, and I'm walking up to the thing, and I see the guy kind of do his circle, and he's heading right to it. I stepped right in front of him. Right in front of him. And he's like, huh. I had $2 coffee. I had $2 on me. Then you know what I did? I put the coffee down. And then I said, well, I have $2, but I think I want to pay with my card. And then I went to go put it in the card, and then I hit deny for some reason. Spirit made me do it. Oh, Alexandra, so good to hear from you. Talk about a country unheard from. Great to see you. Oh, and then I took my card out, put it in my pocket, and then paid with a 20 and asked for exact change. Was I mean? Was I a jerk? A little bit. Did the person get what I was doing? I don't know. Maybe. We are coming to a time where we have to have our own moral integrity. It's not about religion. Religion has failed us wholesale. Name one church well run. I will tell you exactly what's wrong with it. Go ahead and tell me what principle or what historical event or what you believe to be true in history, and I will tell you that I will vibrate on a level to be able to tell you that that probably isn't entirely accurate. Our foundation doesn't exist anymore, and that's why you're all panicking. The sooner you realize that, the quicker we can do something about it. It's not eroding. It doesn't exist anymore. Who are you? Where do you want to go with this? Create the world you want to live in. I'm seeing some of your comments right now. Spirit made me do it. Yeah, a little bit. But create your own reality. Tell me. And again, this is one for you guys in the States. I know we're international. Has anyone in government ever done a thing for you? Personally? Oh, wait. Yeah, I didn't think so. But I'll tell you what, the woman that works in that Stewart's takes care of her grandkids when she gets out of there at 10 o'clock every day. And when I go in and I get my coffee and I say, hey, how you doing, kid? And she's like, pretty good. Hey, what do you got planned for the kids? Oh my gosh, I got a sprinkler for them. And I'm like, ooh, what kind of sprinkler? And then I tell them a story about how I did the slip and slide, and I went all the way down, and I had all these grass cuts, and then I jumped in a swimming pool, and I screamed my full head off. That was a great summer day, everybody. I was able to share a memory, and she goes, oh my gosh, I should think about that. I'm going to get him a swim shirt. Okay. Guess what? Every single time I walk into that Stewart's, Luella says hi to me. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Hey, Luella, how far did you get in the book? Haven't read it yet, but it's keeping my chair steady. Okay, Luella, thanks a lot. But you know what? She smiles every time I walk in. John says hi from behind the counter. Hey, B, what's up? Not much, man. What's going on? Am I giving a shout out to the Stewart's up here in Clifton Park? You bet I am. That's my world. Oh, I'm seeing some of you guys chime in. That is great that public servants actually did something for its citizens from time to time. I love that. And it should be exonerated. It should be celebrated. Right? But we're so far removed from any of this. From any of this stuff that you are putting so much stock into. Will it affect your rights? I guess so. Will it affect how things go? Probably. Will it make a difference for when I go in and get my coffee and say hi to the team there? Which, by the way, I call the commissary, because this is where I go in and grab something to eat. They're a blessing in my life, and they just have a job. They have to make the coffee hot, and the hot dogs roll, and the ice cream cold, and the ice in the ice machine. They do their job to mastery. That lets me come in and have some coffee that's just pretty good. Right? We have to remind the people that are in our lives what they mean to us. You want to change the world? Change their world. Guys, spoiler alert, we're going to win. The bad news is that it's going to take a tremendous amount of effort. It's going to mean that we're going to not have to be pissed off and ticked off all the time. The world is an angry place. I've seen that in the feed. It's angry and it wants to be smarter than everybody. It wants to tell everybody what to do. And you don't know what you're doing. You know who I am. I blame the Kardashians. I blame the Clintons. I blame the 9/11 Commission, and I blame the assassins of JFK. Have substance. Can we please start judging people on their character? That's why I believe in history. That's why I believe we have to know it. That's why I believe in doing stuff like this, so then people can hear that you're not alone. There's other crazy people just like you that get all jazzed up when they're like, he's doing cards. He's going to turn over some cards. Oh, what is he using? I don't like that deck. Oh, I like that deck. All right, okay. We'll mix it up. This is where I tip my hat to every teacher that has to create a world that protects every kid that they teach. You have to protect them from the outside world. You have to protect them from parents that are rogue, that don't understand their role. You have to protect them from a system and an ideology that doesn't really match education anymore. You have to protect them from the bullies and their own head and their own diagnosis and their own problems that they're dealing with, all in the sake of going on and saying they're broken. I have 3 adopted kids, and they tried to tell me each one of them was broken. I didn't let them. I said, yeah, he's freaking weird. But his smile lights up the joint, and you don't know what you would do without him. Well, he's a little lazy. Okay, what are we going to do about his lazy? Well, we think some medication. No. I'd rather have him sit there and stare out the window and daydream about being great than trying to be great for you. I literally said that in front of a school board member. That's how you make an impact here. That's how you make a difference. And by the way, that doesn't mean you have to all go out and adopt kids. But if you don't think that adoption of children is going to be a very big thing moving forward, you haven't been paying attention to the recent turn of events. Maybe you're supposed to raise someone else's kid because they were told that it was illegal for them to exist. Where's your moral compass? This entire time, I thought I was drawing the short straw with the challenges and everything that comes with fertility challenges and all that other crap. I was so pissed at that for a long time. I still have my moments. If I made different decisions, if things had gone differently, I've been over here setting an example. Because it's coming. And there's going to be people in this world that are going to need people like you. That know how to laugh. That know how to joke around with things. That know how to say, what if? What if those cards mean those things to me? What if that cardinal means that on the back porch? How about if I'm connected to my grandmother every time it happens? How about if I hear that song and it's not just a song by chance? It's a song by synchronicity. Guys, it's coming. And all that anxiety that you feel can't stop it. We have to adjust. We have to become the people that we've been bullshitting ourselves that we are for a long time. What are you going to see when you look in Perseus's shield? All right, guys, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to go. I don't think you can hear me. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to grab the card, and I don't want to stand up. I don't want the unflattery here. Let's talk about where we're going with this. We got the Fool card. We got the King of Swords. We got the King of Swords. And then we've got the Two of Cups. What is this talking about, Brandon? Well, let me tell you what this is talking about. This is about a new beginning. This is about Uranus, by the way. Uranus is the Fool card. Thank you very much. The King of Swords is when Mars moves on and we don't really have any of this horse hockey anymore. Where we can take that emotional reaction to everything and kind of go, here you go. And then the Two of Cups. What do you love? You know, the 60s showed us love the one you're with. The 70s showed us how great it was to be born in the 70s. Am I right? The 80s showed us strong, independent advancements and financial collapses and rebuilds. The 90s were about progressiveness, and the 2000s were about the fear. The 2010s were about fake money. If you're not paying attention to Bitcoin, you're not paying attention. We have to get back to what we love, what we feel synchronized with. Now, I'm going to turn over 2 of these cards. I'm going to go over and get that other one that's flying way over there. But we're going to talk about the King of Pentacles here. This is about being practical about our new journey. King of Swords, and oh, by the way, I got it. The Emperor showing up going, hey, we're going to go back to the old way. Now, I'm going to drop off for just a second. But I'm going to be back in a second. Hold on a second. Let me grab the card. You know what the funny part is? I've got like 10 cards down there. So we're going to shuffle them all up. I'm laughing because I didn't even realize all those cards were over there. There were like a bunch of them. New beginnings. Well, I'm sorry, was I just talking about children? It's trying to get my better side. What is this talking about? It's talking about a new journey, practical journey, one that we can actually appreciate. King of Swords comes out and talks to us about taking out the emotion and kind of saying, being an authority again. How about you be an expert in your own journey? By the way, you can't outsource your healing. Cut that out. Two of Cups comes up. And from the 40 freaking cards that I seem to have dropped, the Six of Cups comes out, which is about a new beginning, about a new love, maybe a child, maybe a new idea. Maybe that's why we're doing this. Maybe this is why it is such freaking torture, because it's change in the ultimate evolution. We're in an 8-year this year. Next year is a 9-year. Oh, I love this. Lifting the veil. Questioning everything, anything unaligned, letting go. The defense rests, Your Honor. Mwah! Good night. Thanks very much for tuning in. Sign up at tbrandonross.com. Stay tuned, everybody. It's going to be a wild, wild, wild ride. And I can't wait to be your captain. I'll see you guys soon. Heart taps to everybody all everywhere. Remember, keep going.